Morning folks, out on a river again this morning. It's only a small river, relatively close to my house. February, mid-February, so we're going to be fishing for chub. Quite cold last night, about 0 degrees, bit of a frost this morning, sort of gone now, it's about 9:30 now, something like that. There's a nice little bit of colour in the water, probably a couple of foot higher than it normally is. So there's a nice flow on it. I've got some 3 different types of bait today to use if we need it, to be fair. Got some cheese base, got some worms, and I've got some meat. So yeah, I'll just be doing a bit of ledgering to start with. I've got some floats as well, so we might swap to that later on, see how we get on really. I'm going to sort of fish sort of the slacker water, deep holes at the side. It is moving quite fast out there in this particular run on this bend, so I've got sort of 2 or 3 different casts I could have in here really. Maybe not all from this point, but I might have to move down another 10 yards. Generally I'm going to be roving around today. I'm not going to be overfeeding the swims, maybe a couple of little bits of bait in beforehand, not much, and then my bait. I haven't come with loads of ground bait and just pile it all into a swim and try and create a swim, as you call it, trying to trap the fish round. It'll be my bait or nothing. So yeah, I'll be roving around. Got my landing net, 1 rod and a small rucksack, so it's easy to move around. At this time of year I don't like sort of hanging around in places too long. I think if the fish aren't feeding there, it's difficult to get them to feed sometimes, or there might be very few fish in that particular swim, so like I say, I'll be moving around. So yeah, give it a go. Hopefully get a few chub on the bank. There's barbel in here as well, but it is cold, so the chance of me catching one of them is quite small, to be fair. You never know, there's a possibility because they're here, but it is quite a small possibility. So yeah, hopefully, like I say, fingers crossed, get something on the bank for you. Starting off with the cheese base. Just in this slightly slacker water, there is a bit of flow on down there, to be fair. Just moving it around a little bit. It's not one of these kind of swims where the rod never moves when it's anchored. It sort of does sort of drift in and out because of the flow. I'll soon tell if I get a decent take, to be fair. Move 10 yards further down now, same corner, nothing doing in that top bit in the first 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. We'll just keep moving. I could have fished this bit from right up there, but there's quite a lot of buffeting on the rod tip when I do that because of the current and the swell, so I don't tend, if I can move, I sort of move, keep as close to my weight as I can. It's quite turbulent out there at the moment, so it might not be any good. I might have to move just below here. You never know, there could be something hanging around in there. Sun's coming up, blue skies now. Just had to come a couple of minutes further down the river. I went to one of the swims that I quite like, just round from that top corner, and there's a huge tree floating around in there, so I've had to give that one a miss, unfortunately, because I do like that swim. So yeah, moved a little bit further down, couple of minutes walk, and then go again. That's the worst cast in the world. That's tragically bad. Got hooked on a little bit of foliage on the side here and made a total pig's ear of it. Should have gone across the other bank, that. and then swung into the middle. Now I'm fishing about 2 foot off this side here, but I'm still going to leave it. I'm not one of these that needs a perfect cast every time, unless you're fishing for a specific fish or to a specific object, as in a tree on the other bank that's hanging in the water or something like that. There could be a fish under this bank, just like there could be a fish under that bank. There's this little tree just on this side. There could quite easily be a chub under the roots of that, no problems whatsoever. Or lying out further, because it's a bit coloured. There's only a few. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're on. Oh! Keep him away from that. Keep him away from that. He's trying to get one of them roots. There's a good flow out there, to be fair. There we go, first one in the net. It's not a bad little fish, that, to be fair. There you go. Let's have a little look at him. There you go, cracking little chub, just over £2 I'd have said, 2 1/4 maybe, something like that. Stunning little fish. There you go, nice thick winter chub with the worst cast in the world. And ended up about a foot or so off my bank after getting tangled in that stuff, that foliage on the side. Like, it just shows you it's always worth leaving. Beautiful little winter fish. We're off the mark. Off the mark. Happy days. Right, so obviously first one for the session. I'd say probably just over £2, something like that. It's not bad for this little river. They don't grow massive in here. I think the record's like 4.5 or something out of here, so it's yeah, it's not bad at all. That well happy. Look, good little winter fish. On the worst cast in the world after I got hooked in that foliage down on the side here. So I'm going to put it back in exactly the same place under this tree on this side of the bank before I go and try and cast to the other side of the bank, because you never know where there's one, there could be more. I've just released that slightly higher up out of this swim because I don't want it whipping straight back down under them roots and disturbing any other fish there. So I've just taken him slightly higher up. So yeah, back down under this tree we go. Beautiful kingfisher coming. What a stunning little bird. He seen me right at the last minute and took evasive action. Spun off to the side. He was coming straight up the middle of the river. Stunning bird, stunning bird. Probably catch a damn sight more fish than I will today as well. Just moved down again, a couple of yards, not far. Literally, I don't know, 7 or 8 yards. Just looks like a good little stretch, this bit, for the next 70 yards, 65 yards, something like that. Just looks like a good little stretch. Because there's a little bit extra water in, I'm trying to find something a bit slacker. And this is looking good, to be fair. I've not actually fished this river here in summer, so I don't know what it's like. I don't know where the deep holes are and the shallow runs or anything like that. Every time I've fished it, it's been coloured and I can't see the bottom. So this time of year, you just got to sort of suck it and see, just keep moving around. Obviously another quick move, not going far in this little bit, like I say, 10 yards at a time, finding different casts in the same swim sometimes. Might have one on that bank, one on this bank. I've put no ground bait in, it's my bait or nothing. If there's feeding fish there, they'll find it, no problems. So 10 minutes in the last swim, nothing doing, moved again. That's why when you're doing this kind of fishing, it's so important. Realistically, I probably didn't even have to bring my rucksack. Just rod, rest, net. I've got my bait in my pocket, some spare hooks, and some spare fluorocarbon, and that's probably about it. If you have to pick up too much crap every time you start moving around, it's a pain in the jacksy. Keep it simple. Same again, couple of casts here. That one's gone out in the middle, to be fair. It was a bit of a crap cast again. I've left it anyway. And I'll have one over there, back in front of them willows on the other bank, and then one against this bank. That's my second cast now, right in front of that willow on the opposite bank. In fact, the cast was so close, the bait hit the branch that I was aiming at on the way down. A bit too close really, but it has gone down onto the bottom, so. Obviously move swims again. First cast in the middle, just off the flow, only just off the flow. River sort of really narrows here. The actual foliage on the embankment's probably only about 8 foot across. But I'll just have a quick try under them trees on the other bank to start with. Give it 5 minutes. And I'll try another cast slightly further down in the middle of the flow. You never know what could be lurking underneath that them branches on the other side. Might be an out. Might be a 4-pounder. Kingfisher ripping past again. There he goes. Back upstream. That's downstream and then straight back upstream. Don't know what he was doing. Always looks really good, this bend here, and it never seems to get much luck. I've had the odd fish out of here, but considering how good it looks, not many. Just shows you though, sometimes what we think looks good for fish might not necessarily be good for fish. Does look like the kind of bend here where you could actually build a swim, plenty of ground bait in, and build a proper swim, like, do you know what I mean? Keep feeding and bring fish from further down into it. So ended up changing tactics again. I've just gone back to a couple of split shot on my line with some worms this time. Don't think I've got enough split shot on though, to be fair. I think it might be high in the water, that. There we go. Ooh. Go on. So straight back onto the cheese bait, fishing with the worms. First cast, and we're in. And it feels like an half decent fish. It's running for both sets of them. The willows on both sides. Looks like a good fish as well. We've got plenty of energy. That big mouth appears straight out the water. A little bit better than the last one, I think. There's just been trout rows there. Cheese paste. Again. That is a solid winter chub. That £3 on the nose. What a superb winter chub, especially off here. Look how thick that is. What a cracking fish. I'm genuinely over the moon with that. £3 on the nose. Absolutely over the moon. Just giving him a couple of minutes rest in the landing net down there. I'll have another chuck in the same swim. absolutely over the moon with that. After fishing with the worms for what, 20 minutes I'd have said, something like that, give or take. First chop with the cheese paste again, and straight in within a minute of being back in the river again. There we go, he's had a good little rest there. Oh, he's ready to roll. Off like a torpedo, straight back into my swim. I'm probably buggering every fish about in there. There you go, there it is. A cracking little fish. There we go, so we'll wrap this video up here, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's getting a bit windy now. I'll probably give it about another 10 minutes like that, but if you've enjoyed it, share, like, subscribe to my channel, watch my other videos as well, so always have a bit of a gander about what I've done in the past. If you're into your gun dogs or you're shooting or you're fishing, like I say, subscribe and yeah, check out my other videos. Catch you later, see you in a bit.